There was a time I thought I was doing everything right. I wasn't drinking soda. I avoided fast food. I added spinach to my smoothies, then remembered to drink water most days. So when things started going wrong, I couldn't explain it. It wasn't loud. Not at first. It was little things. Tiny cracks in the surface. The first was the corners of my mouth. They split and stayed that way, no matter how many times I moisturized. Then came the fatigue. Not the kind sleep fixes, but the kind that clings to your bones. I'd sleep 8 hours, wake up, and still feel like I had a weighted blanket on my soul. I'd look in the mirror and wonder, did I always look this tired? This pale? But I kept pushing. Because that's what we're told to do, right? Power through. Everyone's tired. Everyone's stressed. I told myself I was just getting older. But then my body started speaking louder. My nails got thin, brittle, speckled with little white spots I couldn't buff out. My skin? Flaky around my nose, especially in the morning. No cream helped. And my digestion, ugh. I started feeling bloated after meals I used to love. The kind of bloat that makes you unbutton your jeans under the table and pretend you're fine. But I wasn't fine. Not physically. Not mentally. Then came the brain fog. I'd walk into rooms and forget why I was there. I'd read the same paragraph 3 times before it made sense. Conversations? I nodded along, but I wasn't really there. I began thinking, maybe this is just life in your 30s. Maybe everyone feels like this. But somewhere deep down, a voice whispered, this isn't normal and it's not okay. So I started paying attention. What I didn't know at the time is that I was living in a state of chronic, silent nutrient deficiency. Not starving. Not malnourished in the extreme sense. But underfed on the inside. Modern diets are full of calories but empty in micronutrients. And even when we try to eat better, our stressed out guts and overburdened livers can't absorb what we give them. I started journaling my symptoms and the patterns were undeniable. Cracks in the corners of my mouth? Is B2 or B3 deficiency? Bleeding gums? Vitamin C brittle nails and oily breakouts? Zinc. Skin that peeled no matter how much water I drank? Omega-3s deficiency. And then I remembered something. I used to crave ice. I'd chew it absent-mindedly while working or watching TV. Turns out that's a classic sign of iron deficiency. It was like my body had been waving flags the whole time, I just hadn't been trained to see them. Then came the sleep. I started waking up from vivid, almost violent dreams. Heart racing. Palms sweaty. Night after night, like my brain was trying to purge something. When I dug deeper, I found a link between low B1, magnesium, and intense emotional dreams. The kind that make your nervous system feel like it ran a marathon by 7 a.m. And it wasn't just dreams. My mood during the day was unpredictable. Some days I was fine. Other days I snapped at the smallest thing. Tears would come from nowhere. Or I'd feel nothing at all. I wasn't depressed. But I wasn't okay either. And the sugar cravings. Don't even get me started. Every afternoon, like clockwork, my body begged for something sweet or salty. I thought it was lack of willpower. But really? It was mineral depletion. Low magnesium, low potassium, and most surprisingly, low real salt. I'd switched to low sodium everything, thinking I was being heart healthy. But in doing so, I deprived my body of the electrolytes that regulate stress, hydration, and hormones. And then one night, driving home, I realized I couldn't see clearly in the dark. My vision blurred. Headlights looked like smears of light. I blamed my glasses. But deep down, I knew. That's when I learned about vitamin not just from carrots, but from retinol-rich foods like eggs, butter, and liver. And that's when it hit me. This wasn't about one missing nutrient. This was about a body running low on everything it needed to thrive. Here's the truth. No one tells you you don't need to be starving to be deficient. You don't need to be sick to be depleted. Modern life is perfectly designed to drain us nutritionally, emotionally, and hormonally. From processed foods that rob our guts, to long-term stress that depletes B vitamins, to blue light that messes with sleep, to skincare routines that mask what your skin's really trying to say, we're out here treating symptoms while ignoring the source. So I made changes. Not overnight. Not perfectly. But one small change at a time. I added in nutrient-dense foods. Not just healthy foods, but the kind our grandmothers used: egg yolks, bone broth, fermented veggies, seaweed, cod liver oil. And slowly, the whispers stopped. My skin stopped flaking. My mood leveled out. The dreams eased. And I remembered what it felt like to be awake, not just going through the motions. This wasn't about supplements, though they can help. This was about remembering that food is information, and that the most important signals come from within. I started listening differently, not just to my hunger, but to my skin, my sleep, my cravings. My body had been speaking all along. It's not that I never feel tired now, or never get stressed. But when I do, I know how to respond. I know how to trace the signal to the root. Because healing isn't just about fixing something when it's broken. It's about learning the language your body speaks so you can stop it from breaking in the first place. If anything in this story sounded familiar to you, let that be your nudge. Not to panic. Not to overhaul your entire life. But to tune in. To slow down and ask, what have I been ignoring? Because your body isn't random. It's rhythmic. And when something feels off, it's not personal, it's informational. The skin breakouts, the cravings, the random aches, they aren't just random flaws. They're messages, clues, invitations. And when you respond not with shame or fear, but with curiosity and care, that's when everything begins to shift.